Good morning and welcome to a new edition of the Betting Connection podcast. My name's Chris. I'm here as always for our weekly chat. Co-host Rob. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Chris. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Last week got off to an absolute flyer. We got off to such a great start Friday, and then little by little it just kind of fizzled out into a pretty average weekend. And then this week, well, being in Spain, probably you heard about the power outage on Monday, so that was fun. And then Arsenal losing in the Champions League Tuesday, and yeah, the week didn't really get much better. But we can always hope for a new weekend and a better one this weekend, Rob.
Yeah, that's true. We did had some amazing matches in the Champions League to watch as well. I thought Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain still all in for to play next weekend, and same goes for Barca Inter with an unbelievable performance of Yamal and Denzel Dumfries, our Dutch pride at the moment.
There you go. There you go. You've got to look out for your Dutch pride, and that was the man, wasn't it? So yeah, they were interesting matches. I thought PSG were very good for the first half an hour against Arsenal. I thought Arsenal grew into the game, and I thought in the end the draw probably would have been fair. But it was weird because I came away from the game actually. I didn't really have any strong emotion of anything because we could have also lost 2-0 as well, and then really the tie is over. I think, like I say, we should have got a draw, but 2-0 would have been a disaster. So for me, it's just game on. And yeah, I didn't expect that from Inter Milan at all.
No, no, you always think about it when you see Italian teams play and you know they have a certain style and you know Bas is defensively not that strong and always lets in some goals. So I actually had the both teams to score myself on. But yeah, unbelievable that they just need a couple of chances, those Italian teams. And Barca was like all over the pitch, quite a lot of possession, but every counter attack, it was very dangerous. And Inter got the goals there.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one now. A really interesting one. So yeah, next week's going to be good. Let's see how the final is going to look next week. So interesting in terms of last weekend's betting and what we talked about in the podcast last week. Like I say, got off to an absolute flyer. FC Utrecht, a pick from myself at 1.9 and over 2.5 team goals at 3.25. That came in really easily, like 4-0 on Friday night. But then it
Was
just kind of,
already
yeah, sorry, go on.
it was already done in like 35 minutes. It was 3-0. They were up and I think they got a late goal to make it 4-0. But yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
It was a nice one, and yeah, it just didn't really catch fire. Like the Accas were alive until Sunday as well, both Accas. So it felt like it was going to be a good one, and it just kind of fizzled out a little bit. It ended up even money for our picks last week. Well, minus 0.4 if you can count that. So it was pretty much an even money weekend from our picks, but it could have been and should have been so much better. We did have some good ones. Como again, Rob, starting to grow on me. This team,
Yeah, it was
they're
a good
starting to grow
result.
on me. Yeah, another good win. And you were very unlucky with Almelo City. You called the hangover go ahead Eagles last weekend. It was a 0-0. Sounds like a hangover.
Yeah, and they did had some couple of clear-cut chances. I'm not really fond of the XG market, but if you look at it, it was well in favor of Almere City, and they had a goal ruled offside by VAR, so it was quite close. Although they got a little bit lucky in the beginning because they should have gotten a red card, but they didn't. But then again, yeah, that you're still looking for those places, those spots. And yeah, you can see it this weekend as well. So it's quite hard to find those spots at the moment. And yeah, sadly it didn't work out, although I still think it was a good bet.
Yeah, it was a good bet. It was a good bet. At the end of the day, they don't all come in, and there is a good bet and a bad bet, and the result can still both be losses. But the ones that were, what, that was a good effort, and I think that was one of them. But there was one big loser of the week. Do you want to have a guess who that was?
No, you can go. Say tell.
Atalanta.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, should have guessed. Should have guessed.
Atalanta destroyed everything last week, Rob. Your big Gun Acca, the only team that let us down, they were also part of your Italian treble as well. If they win that match, we're sitting here talking about four, five. We were talking about 7 units of profit.
Yeah, that hurts. And if you look
Just well, that's the absolute madness of this world that we are involved in. One team that should really have won last week, Atalanta, they win, and the difference between an even money week and 7 units up. Nuts.
okay, maybe they can bounce back this weekend. They're playing
Let's
against
see if we can.
Monchengladbach.
Let's see if we can bounce back. But it is slim pickings out there. Coming to the end of the season, it is really, really hard to find. But let's see if we can do just that. I do have a couple of picks. I know that you've got a couple of picks. Let's start in the Premier League. I just found this really hard to call this weekend. Some interesting matches and some interesting prices, but difficult. What did you find?
Um, maybe the most interesting match to me, betting wise, would be Chelsea Liverpool. Chelsea got almost the job done yesterday in the Conference League with winning 4-1 away from home. So they almost got the final wrapped up in there. Liverpool must have been on a big party trip this weekend or this whole week. A lot of festivities, and I think he's going to play a lot of different players, like second tier team players. And I thought it was quite a nice price of 2.3 for Chelsea. What do you think? Is Liverpool gonna be showing up
I
at the
don't know. I just don't. I don't trust Chelsea enough. Even if Liverpool were on the beach with a few second string players, I just don't. I do not trust Chelsea. I've actually got it dropped here a little bit. I mean, again, our bookies are different, but I've got it 2.10. I think it has been priced in. Liverpool, obviously, I don't think you would have got that price a couple of weeks ago or even last week if Liverpool needed to win. But I don't have a strong feeling about this. I don't. I do think Nottingham Forest losing last week will give Chelsea great motivation because it's really on for them now. Nottingham Forest could be the ones to lose out, which would be a bit of a shame, I think, considering how this season's played out. But I just don't trust Chelsea enough.
No, I think it's I'm gonna look at the lineup for this match as well. Just so most probably it's like 1 hour before kickoff or a little bit more before that the lineups come out. And if you're quick on it, then you can maybe find some value if Liverpool's not playing the best 11.
Yeah, but the price on Chelsea will drop massively if it is a really bad lineup. So
You gotta be quick.
it's whether you want to take the risk or not. One game I'm leaning on towards a pick because it is in value range is Aston Villa at home to Fulham.
Yeah,
I think Aston Villa have been in good form recently. They still have a chance of this top five. They are 3 points behind Chelsea and 3 points behind Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are now in sixth and Villa was seventh. Playing a Fulham team that they're just kind of out of it now, I suppose. Probably start thinking about their summer holidays. And Villa at home have been pretty excellent, to be honest. Only Liverpool have taken points off them in the last few matches. Fulham have lost 3 of 4 away from home. They won last week, but that was to Southampton. I think everybody's beating them, so it doesn't really say much. So I think there's only one place in the league between these two teams, but I think the motivation is completely different. Fulham are a dangerous team. It's hard. It's a bit dangerous to back against them, generally speaking. But I think Villa at home, with the way they're playing at home and just a little bit more of an edge from them to win, I actually quite like it. They've actually won the last four meetings as well against Fulham. And I didn't initially have, and they've won the last four meetings and six of the last seven. So they've got a good record, got the motivation. I didn't even have this down as a pick, but just talking about it, Rob, I'm actually talked myself into it. So I like the price at 1.73. What do you think?
Yeah, I do like it. I actually found a higher price, to be honest. I found it 1.8, but I see it's already going down a little bit. Yeah, Villa at home is just a very strong team, and it's in a way a match for them to give something back for the season. Like, they did had an amazing run in the Champions League. They did all right in the FA Cup, but they lost, I think, their last match, right?
Yeah, they got hammered by Palace
Yeah,
in the
that
cup
must have
last
hurt.
weekend.
That must have
But
hurt.
back at Villa Park,
That's
they're a
true.
good team.
A good team at home. The last win at home was 4-1 against Newcastle. They've beaten PSG at home, so yeah, I kind of like it, and it's a fair price. Maybe look for goals as well in this match. I could see a lot of goals as well. Definitely, West
Mm.
Ham is not playing for nothing. I saw the price over 2.5 goals is 1.74. So yeah, I like both plays on that match.
I'll just run that down 1.74 for over 2.5. Okay, okay, interesting. Anything else that you has caught your eye in the Premier League?
No, not really. No, nothing specific. It's all,
For For me, I am going to put Manchester City on a student ACCA. I know Wolves have been in good form, but Man City are flying. I think the FA Cup match last week was probably their best performance of the season. They're just starting to look a little bit more like themselves in recent weeks. I know Wolves have been in good form, but they don't have anything played for. Man City are still really chasing that top four, cement the third place. Really, they would want to finish, I'm sure. 1.42, too short for a single pick, but definitely to be made up of doubles and accas, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, and the last one that caught my eye as well is actually West Ham. West Ham are better than even money to beat Tottenham at home. Tottenham are got 1 foot in the Europa League final after last night's 3-1 win versus Bodo Glimt. Although I will say that late goal by Bodo Glimt just keeps the tie alive.
yeah,
And Bodo Glimt at home is a scary opposition, scary, scary, because they can do some damage in the snow out there. I think they've hit teams for six, haven't they? I think did they not hit was it Roma or Lazio for six? Hit somebody for six over there. And
yeah,
um and and generally they do win at home, even against good teams in Europe. So we'll be interested in that match. But either way, my point is that Tottenham will definitely be resting any players that have picked up niggles last night. West Ham, West Ham are probably the only team other than Arsenal to hate Tottenham as much as that, and they've got a generally good record against Tottenham. So it's a lean. It's caught my eye at 2.15, but again, like Chelsea, West Ham just don't do enough to trust or have confidence.
yeah. No, no, I do like that pick. To be honest, I'm all about fading teams that still have something to play for in Europe. And yeah, that late goal of Bodo definitely changed it. I thought 3-0, okay, job done. But now a 2-0 win, yeah, definitely be on the cards for Bodo Klim on the artificial surface. So yeah, and West Ham must go for it all in, right? The derby, they definitely put their foot down, and Tottenham probably gonna, yeah, stay away a little bit out of the duels and maybe, yeah, put out a different lineup this time. So yeah, good price.
Yeah, they've been playing quite strong teams. They have been resting some players where they can, but he has been playing pretty much the first team in between, just resting the other player here and there. But I think this one, it's like you just can't mess up next week, can you? So, I think it has to go, all in on the Europa League. And like I say, West Ham love to beat Tottenham. They've got a fairly decent record. They haven't lost in four at home against Tottenham. So they don't lose this match. That was 2 wins and 2 draws in the last four at home. So yeah, nice price, but just a lean at this stage.
Just a lean.
Just a lean. Okay. Just before we move on to the Netherlands, Rob, and talk a little bit Dutch football. Aberdeen, we mentioned them last week. I can't go a pod without talking about Aberdeen, and they did beat Hibs last week. I said I wasn't sure because Hibs were in good form. Aberdeen did win that match. They're now joint points with Hibs, and they are fourth on the basis of goal difference. And I want to back them, but they're playing another tricky match. They're playing away at St Mirren, and St Mirren have been in fantastic form themselves. So they got a draw with Rangers last week. They've won five. No, they've only lost 3 of the last 8, which doesn't sound amazing form, but they are unbeaten at 3 at home. And again, I just don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Should we just go in on Aberdeen? We keep saying, "Oh, we'll wait and see," and they keep winning. Well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's very hard. Definitely when they have to play matches like these against all teams that are quite good and had some good results as well, as St Mirren had lately. What's the price for Aberdeen?
I'm going to say, yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth. The bookies are also as uncertain as I am, right? So St Mirren at 2.60 and Aberdeen at 2.63. So they're an underdog by 0.03 in the bookies' eyes and 3.3 for the draw, which is a much higher. So, yeah, the bookies are equally as confused about this match as we are.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell. I'm gonna leave that match alone. Definitely a lean towards Aberdeen, as always. But as I look to the head-to-head results as well, it's not like Aberdeen has been winning there a lot or hasn't been winning there lately. At least the last three couple times that they went there, they lost or got a draw there. So I'm staying away from this one, to be honest.
Yeah, we've done that a couple of times recently, and then lost out, I suppose, because Aberdeen did do the job. So look, I'll leave it to you guys. If you want to continue believing in Aberdeen, then go and do it. Why not? But we won't make it an official pick. So okay, let's move on to the Netherlands. We briefly spoke about that Almelo City and Go Ahead Eagles match last week. Is there any opportunities this weekend, Rob?
When it comes to the Dutch league, I always like you to go first. Then I don't have my opinion upon it too much at first. So did you find anything?
I didn't find any value picks I liked.
Okay.
FC Groningen caught my eye a little bit, but not enough. And then just the last thing I wanted to speak to you about is Feyenoord. Feyenoord seemed to be quite a good price for Accas and doubles, but their way it's how do you say Heracles? Heracles?
Yeah, Heracles.
Heracles. They're in pretty decent form, right? So yeah, I just didn't know too much. What's your opinion on this match?
I think Feyenoord is there for Akas. It's quite a good price, to be honest. Heracles is a known team to be fighting for relegation, moving up, moving down. The leagues in Holland, they did had a very decent season. I think the line in Holland we always say is 34 points, and they already gotten that with 35. So yeah, this season is about to be over, to be honest. They could still qualify for conference league spots, I think, for the playoff. But then again, Feyenoord is a team that's still chasing down that Champions League spot and really wants that. And they gotten good results under Van Persie. They didn't play that convincingly. It's very strange to see Feyenoord with such less ball position than the opposition lately. but then again, the results keep coming in. So I'm definitely having Feyenoord in my ACAs.
I did have them in my ACCA, then I stopped short and I wanted to speak to you about it. And obviously, you're saying that it's a good price, but do you know that Heracles have not lost at home since October? They have not lost at home since October, which was against Ajax, and that was a 3-4 thriller. And how many games are we talking unbeaten? One, two, three. That's 10 games unbeaten at home, winning the last four.
Yeah,
Puts me off.
the streak has to end one time. No, I do know that it an
Indeed,
artificial
it
high.
does. Indeed, it does. And Feyenoord have just got into really good form. I think that ever since I dissed Van Persie on this pod, he's just gone on a tear, hasn't he?
I think he has been listening.
He has been. He has been. He has been. He has been. So, yeah, they're in good form. In fact, Feyenoord have only lost two away all season, and that's to the two teams above them now, which is Ajax and PSV. Feyenoord are in third position now. The title race is still alive, isn't it, really? Because PSV are 7 points behind with a game in hand. Ajax have just stumbled a little bit. It's not done just yet.
It's not done yet, although they are close, but no cigar yet.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so tell me then, Rob, what's your pick for the Eredivisie?
No, as a value pick, it was maybe a little bit short, but I do like FC Groningen. It's a team that's promoted last season. It's actually quite a big city and big club in history in Holland. Former club of Ian Robben, Virgil van Dijk, Suarez. They had lovely players over there throughout the years, but yeah, comeback season to the Eredivisie. They are doing really good. They're playing against RKC Waalwijk. That's a team that at least has to play playoffs, but probably is going to relegate directly from the Eredivisie. FC Groningen still wants that playoff spot for the Conference League, so at home they're quite a good team, and I do like to back them for 1.75.
Yeah, I said I looked at it earlier. That was mainly because I wanted to fade RKC, which we did last week as well with that 4-0 FC Utrecht game. Being bottom of the league, they do have the worst defence as well. They can still technically stay up, so they are still motivated. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that point towards a Groningen win, and their record, by the way, at home against the bottom half is exemplary. They haven't lost against any team at home in the bottom half, so they are flat track bullies by the look of it. And just generally speaking, they've got a fantastic home record. They've only lost three at home all season and a lot of wins there. So yeah, I do like that.
Okay, let's go FC Groningen.
Let's go. 1 point. What price did you have?
1.75.
Okay, 1.75. Anything else?
No, not really. I have a couple of ones that I'm gonna add on to the big Gun Acca. It's like PSV that looks back on track. Excelsior that's trying to get promoted this weekend, this Friday, actually today. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so let's move on to España, into Spain. We do have a title race, although 4 points separate Barcelona and Real Madrid now. Barcelona also got the better of Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. It went to extra time. We talked about it briefly last week. Barcelona, well, I thought they would definitely be in the Champions League final. I'm not so sure now, but maybe they still find a way. Real Madrid's season's just fallen apart a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They do still have the tie against Barcelona, so they could get back into it, and there's still 5 games to be played. So, with the heavy schedule of Barca, maybe they mess up. I think they have a tricky game against Athletic Club, as the last game of their season. So, yeah, Real Madrid definitely gonna try to keep up with them, and hopefully they're gonna win the derby. I think it's in a couple of weeks, right? They're gonna play each other as well for the Liga. So I think they're still in it. But then again, Barcelona should get the win against Valladolid this weekend.
Should. Should. We faded Valladolid all season, so if Barcelona can't do it, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, and it's very short, but definitely something for the big Gun Acca. And actually, I think I'm gonna leave Real Madrid off it because I just don't know. Like it's quite tough to handle a season that blows up in smoke. And losing the Copa del Rey, unfortunately, I think they were better at a certain point. They deservedly got the 2-1 lead, but then again the draw, and then eventually they got the job done. So yeah, Kunde, Kunde.
Real Madrid are on the student ACA. I think they'll be fine this weekend at home to Celta Vigo. They're still very much in the title race. They need to win, so they will be going on the student ACA. Atletico Madrid, Rob, they're out of it now. Obviously, the price caught my eye. Okay, away at Alaves, better than even money, 2.15. But like Atletico are now probably on their summer holidays. They're third place. I don't think they're going to get caught. They're 6 points ahead of Athletic Club. They're 6 points behind Real Madrid. They're a bit in no man's land now in third place. Is that why we're getting these odds, and is it too risky?
Yeah, that must be it. And Deportivo Alaves are still really trying to fight relegation. They're just one spot above the relegation zone. And they did had a good result against Sociedad at home, a 1-0 win. So yeah, just a narrowly loss against Real Madrid. And yeah, definitely if you keep the motivation factor in mind with Atletico, that's why you get that price. It's
Yeah,
not a bad price to be honest.
it is a good price. It's tempting, but it is a typical game that I'm trying to avoid this time of the season. Is a danger zone there where you've got a team fighting for their lives against a team with not a lot to play for, and yeah, I just think that's a typical game that you should avoid. And by the way, Alaves have actually won the last two meetings at Alaves as well. So the last two games at the home of Alaves were two wins for them. So yeah, no, there's too much there to have flashing warning signs.
Exactly. Stay away. Just need a couple wins.
I have a lean, and it's a strange one, and I'm not sure why. I just like the price, and actually looking at it, it was a bit higher than this yesterday. But it's fading Valencia. And Valencia have been in extremely good form, as we know. They've just gone from relegation candidates to actually, at one point, were chasing European positions. But a couple of draws recently has just kind of stopped that European potential. So I think now their season's done. Yeah, they've done enough. They've done enough. They went on this fantastic run and they're playing Las Palmas away from home. And Las Palmas, like Alaves, are still fighting for their lives. Las Palmas are 2 points from safety, which is Alaves. And Alaves are playing Atletico, as we just spoke. So they'll be looking, Las Palmas will be looking at Atletico Madrid and hoping they do the job. And yeah, Valencia, maybe this is where they just run out of steam. They were on a great run. They were getting wins, unbelievable results. And then I suppose two disappointing draws in the last two games at Vallecano and Espanyol, two games that probably would have expected to win considering their form. So, yeah, it's just a lead, no more. But this is just about motivation, Las Palmas and a Valencia team that may have just, you know what, we've done amazing. Let's put our feet up now. And there's price of 2.63 on Las Palmas. It's a lean. It's just a gut feeling, nothing more.
It is a good price. It is a good price.
So that's one to keep an eye out. And if you also like that one, then play it because yeah, I just think that it could work out and very nice odds. So leave Atleti alone and we'll lean towards Las Palmas. Is there anything else?
No, there's nothing else that I like.
Okay, let's move on to Italy. Italy is probably our most successful league, I would say, over the last 2 months, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I do like a lot of picks always in Italy. And you have like a specific kind of teams that are like in the top eight and are trying to get for the European spots, and then you do have those teams that seems to be losing a lot of matches, the teams that are being relegated, and yeah, the most of the time I found the most matches that I like in Italy. Sometimes prices are getting too small right now, but I do like a couple of big teams to get the win. Did you find, and what did you find in Italy?
I have got a couple. Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
All right. Okay. I have Lazio away at Empoli at 1.83. Don't know if that's the game that you were looking at.
I did watch that game a little bit, although Lazio didn't convince me with the 2-2 draw against Parma at home. But then again, if you look at Empoli, they're not playing that well either. Not for nothing, they're standing in 19th place at the moment. And Lazio still needs those points for the Champions League spot, so yeah.
They do. They're in seventh, I think it is, and they
Yeah.
seventh place, but it's only so close, isn't it, between those teams down there? So they do need to win, and they're actually in better away form than home form. Actually, recently, Lazio they're doing the job away from home. They've won three of the last four away. The only loss being away at Bologna. It did beat AC Milan, Atalanta in that run, and Empoli on the flip side are a team that are not in very good form. They haven't won in the last eight, losing four, drawing four. They are in a relegation scrap still, so they are motivated. So you do have two motivated teams here, but you've got to favour the better team, right? You've got to favour the better team. Like I say, they do need a win. They are in good form, especially away from home. Lazio have not lost this fixture in the last seven meetings, and they have won the last four in a row. So I am going to back Lazio. They are at value price range at 1.83.
Okay, let's go. Forza
Let's go.
Lazio.
Okay, do you want to go? And then I've got one more.
Okay, mine is actually Roma to beat Fiorentina at home for 1.7. It's quite short on the value range, but just about makes it. Roma is a team that we've been talking quite a lot about lately, and they are in very good form. They showed that with winning away from home against Inter. Fiorentina still has semi-final coming up in the Conference League. They just had a narrow 2-1 defeat against Betis. So now they have to play at home. They must be up for it. Although both teams are still chasing down those Champions League spots, I do think this is a match for Roma to win in such impeccable form, and with Fiorentina still having the Conference League semi-final against Betis coming up. So Roma win for me at home.
Roma win. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I didn't have it myself, but I can't disagree.
Okay, let's hope they deliver.
Okay, I've got a one that it's one that you don't have much faith in them. I've not had much faith in them all season, and it's AC Milan. But there was just enough I saw here. They're playing away at Genoa, and there was just enough that I saw that I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick this one. They are 1.8, and AC Milan are. I mean, they're one bad result away from their season being over. Okay, they're in ninth position. They can still get into the European places, but they have to win. They just have to win. One more bad result is probably the end of their season. Genoa, their season is over. There's nothing. There's nothing to play for Genoa now. They're safe, clearly safe, and they are too far away from those European positions. So that's the main motivator here for this pick. But also because Genoa have lost the last two, they're winless in three as well, and AC Milan, yeah, I mean they won away last week against a team they should, Venetia. Their previous away game was always also a win. That was an impressive 4-0 away at Udinese. They won away at Lecce as well. So they're in good away form. A little bit like Lazio, really. They're in good away form. The only loss recently away from home was actually Napoli. That was quite a tight game at 2-1. And again, this is a team, Milan, who've been pretty underwhelming all season. But against the teams that they should beat, they've done really well. You know that they've only actually lost one match all season, home and away, to the bottom half. So that was away at Parma. But other than that, they are unbeaten, and there's a lot of games there. And I think there's only 3 draws amongst that as well. So a lot of wins. Flat track bullies. Their problem this season, AC Milan, has been beating decent teams. They've only won one game all season against a top half team. That was the Milan derby away into Milan. I think we spoke about that earlier in the season. And yeah, other than that, they've never not won a match all season against a top half team. They've only lost one match against a bottom half team. I mean, you couldn't separate their kind of form this season between top half and bad form. So yeah, I'm just going to continue that trend. Genoa are a bottom half team, nothing to play for. Milan need a win just to get any kind of hope for a European position, and you can find them at 1.8. Let's move on then, Rob. Let's go to, where should we go? Germany? What have you got in Germany? Anything?
Yeah, I got one thing that I like in Germany that I always fall back on, and that's Borussia Monchengladbach and goals. Goals, goals, goals. If you look at their last matches, they're playing this Saturday against Hoffenheim. If you look at the last matches of Mönchengladbach, they had 4-3 loss, 3-2 win, 2-1, 1-1. If you look at Hoffenheim, 3-2, 3-2, 2-0, 3-1. Most of the matches have a lot of goals in them. I'm gonna play over 3.5 goals for 2.2.
For how much, sorry?
Over 3.5 goals, and it's 2.2.
So 2.2. Yeah, I missed the odds. That's all. So over 3 now. Yeah, I know all too well about the goals of this team because they lost me a pick last week, that 4-3 thriller. So let's go goals again. Over 3.5 goals. Grab back. Okay. Yeah, goals in Germany are, generally quite a good bet.
Yeah, yeah, most of the time, and definitely teams that are not really playing for nothing. I think Hoffenheim still has to worry a little bit about the relegation, although they're 5 points ahead. And Gladbach, yeah, could still chase down the European spots, but I just see a lot of goals in all those matches, definitely lately. So I suspect another goal fest.
Another goal fest. I do like Borussia Dortmund. They are going on the student Acca, although they're almost at big gun Acca price, to be honest. But yeah, they've been in really good form lately. They just sneaked up there with a few wins recently and home to Wolfsburg, but way too short for value. And yeah, not a lot else doing really. Leverkusen are a good price for being Leverkusen away at Freiburg, but we speak about Freiburg and they're pretty solid home team and they're still fighting. They're in fourth position at the moment. Leverkusen, it's not over. I think can it be done this weekend? Isn't it? Bayern Munich to win the Bundesliga. I
Yeah,
think it's this weekend.
yeah,
Yes.
theoretically they could get the job done when
They can
Leverkusen
get a job
loses
done
some
with a draw.
points.
I think if Bayern Munich win, it's all over. It's
Exactly.
all over. So Bayern Munich are away at Leipzig. Not an easy game to win it, but if they win that match, it's over. If they do lose that and Leverkusen don't win, it's also over. So yeah, it probably get wrapped up this weekend. And I'm not going to back Leverkusen because by the time Sunday comes, Bayern Munich might already be champions.
Fair point.
Okay, so that's one to stay away. I think it's a very attractive price, 2.25 for any Leverkusen match over the last couple of seasons. But yeah, good opposition and potentially a real deflated match for them, and Freiburg fighting as well, trying to finish in top four. So very much leave that away, leave that alone. I haven't got anything else, and I haven't got anything in France neither. Rob, have you?
I have a lean towards Strasbourg. They are playing against Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain, we all know, have to face Arsenal for the second leg next weekend or next week. And Strasbourg, we've been talking about lately, that is a team that is in real good form, climbing up the table, still chasing down the Champions League spot, coming close. PSG got their first loss last weekend against Nice in the Ligue 1 this season, so might get another loss. So yeah, that's a lean for Strasbourg. Maybe look at the double chance market as well.
I like it actually. I didn't think about this one, and yeah, you've made some good points there. And they're twofold. Well, there's more than twofold actually, because one, yes, Strasbourg are actually the informed team. Do you remember we kept speaking about Strasbourg and saying, oh, they are only PSG are in better form. So basically, they're the best form team in the league outside of PSG. Well, they are actually the form team. They've surpassed Paris Saint-Germain after that loss last weekend. PSG only drew in the week before that as well. So, yeah, it feels like their mind is now on Champions League and Champions League only. And on top of that, after that loss, that's the invincible potential, which has never been done in Ligue 1. So that's gone. They've got zero motivation to win that much other than making sure players don't get injured. And as you say, Strasbourg, it's really close. I mean, a lot of these leagues, the top leagues, they look very similar in terms of the chase for Champions League places. It's so congested. And this is another one. Strasbourg are in 7th place, but they're only 1 point off Monaco in 4th. So again, a lot of teams they're fighting. They'll want to win, and I've got odds of 2.45. Did you say the same or?
Yeah, I found the same.
Yeah.
I found double chance 1.5.
1.5 double chance. You know what? I like that less, even though it gives you more opportunity to win the bet. There's still every chance that PSG can win this match. And at 1.5 for double chance, I don't like it. But for the win at 2.45, it's worth a stab. But definitely a lean.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. So that's it for official picks and leans for this weekend's action. Let's finish with our quiz section and our Accas, as always, and round it up with Bet of the Week. Quiz this week, Rob. Going to do something slightly different. Normally, we give each other a top 5 to do, or we make a little bracket of quarterfinals between certain players. This time, I'm going to do a quiz that kind of involves both of us. Okay, so, right. So me and you, we're managers of 2 fantasy teams. It's gone 90 minutes. It's gone extra time. It's now in a penalty shootout. And as it's a fantasy, we can pick whoever we like to take the penalties. Who is going to win this penalty shootout, Rob? So here we go. Fantasy time, past or present, me and you, penalty shootout. Who are you putting up as your number one?
My number one is going to be Lionel Messi.
Ooh, so we got Messi taking the first penalty.
Yeah.
You know who's taking my first penalty? This is complete randomness. But I don't care. It's Mr. Matt Letizia.
I figured you're gonna pick that one. I figured it. He has the most impressive percentage, right?
He only missed one.
He
He only
only
ever
missed
missed one. He only ever missed one. It was quite late on as well, if I remember rightly. Like he was always known as for never missing a penalty, and he did miss one, but I think it was fairly late in the career as well. So yeah, just absolute class penalty take. He was a class player, Matt Letizia. In fact, stayed at Southampton his whole career, and yeah, I would put him up first. You want somebody that's definitely going to put it in, right? For the first penalty.
Yeah, and I think there was like this they looked into that and they said that the first penalty taker, it's best to have like the best player eventually, because otherwise the pressure gets too much on them, like on the last kick or something, and they sometimes screw it up. But that's why I'm taking Lionel Messi as first, like not this last first one.
Yeah, okay. I don't actually have Messi in my five, funny enough. But okay, let's move on to the second taker then. Rob, who you having?
I'm having maybe a player you don't know, Johan Neeskens.
I
Do you
have
know him?
no idea who that is.
He was a legendary player for Holland in the team of Johan Cruyff in 1974. He scored the penalty in the final. Like he was higher ranked in penalty wise taking as Johan Cruyff. So maybe that says it all. And he was famous for just blasting the ball into the net. Like it almost went through the net. Definitely in that final. Like it doesn't matter where the keeper was, he's gonna kick the ball with him in the net either way. So Johan Neeskens,
Neeskens.
second. Who's your second?
My second is actually a player still playing now. It's Robin Lewandowski.
Ooh, I do have
Yeah,
my list as well.
you have him as well.
Yeah, I'm having him as well, but I
Yeah,
want to change
he's a
it though.
decent pet. I was toying over him. I'm still not. I'm still uncertain on my third penalty taker. Actually, I'm going to decide when we get there in a minute. But yeah, I'm toying between a few at the moment, and I just think Lewandowski's a little bit underrated. He always scores, doesn't he?
I do like the players that have that specific way of stepping up to the ball, and they change the rhythm, so they'll let the keeper make the first move, and I think if you can do that, then you're able to control that, and Lewandowski does control that. You can score loads of goal, and Messi has that the skill as well, and I think Jorginho started with it. But yeah, Lewandowski has that and scores a lot of goals.
Okay, so who's your third?
My third one, yeah, I don't know. You probably, yeah, you definitely know him. Jose Luis Chilavert. I'm
Who?
gonna have a goalie take the third one just to mentally outdo you. Do you know him? Chilavert?
I don't. Schlaber?
No, he was a goalkeeper, I think, for Paraguay. Yeah, I think he was
Yeah, yeah, I know the
Paraguay.
Paraguayan keeper that used to take the free kicks as well. Is that the same one, isn't it?
Yeah, he takes the free
Yeah.
kick and the penalties. He had
Yeah,
a
I know who
defensive.
he is. I just didn't know his name, but yeah.
Yeah, he has over 80% penalty taken scored. I think he was like top scorer of the Paraguayan international team for a while. I'm not sure if he still is, but yeah, he scored loads of goals as a goalkeeper. How cool is that? How cool.
It is cool and very you to stick him in your five.
Okay, who's your third?
I can't decide because I have to get an Arsenal player in there somehow, right? Because I
Yeah,
just have to. And I've got Thierry Henry down because he was a good penalty taker and just trust him anyway. But I'm also toying over Jorginho for what you just said before as well. I had it between the two because Jorginho is a class penalty taker. He always
yes.
sends the keeper the wrong way. Oh, but I don't know. You just got to have Henry. I don't think I can do a quiz without getting Thierry Henry's name in it. So I'm going Henry. It's my third penalty taker.
Okay, that's right. Okay. On to the
Okay,
fourth
so
one.
we're three. They've all scored. They've all scored. Rob, it's three. It's three. 3-3. And who's your fourth?
Actually, it was Lewandowski, but I'm gonna change it to one of your favorite players, Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
He smashes always on
Okay.
the side, always in the side corner.
Listen, I'll get on to Harry Kane in a second. Let me give you my fourth. And
Okay.
this is a guy that I just love the way he takes his penalties. Obviously, you're talking about having styles. This guy, incredible penalty conversion rate, but also doesn't look at the ball. He does not look at the ball. He gives the keeper the eyeballs all the way until he actually takes the penalty. He doesn't once look at the ball, and it's Ivan Toney.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Love, love the way he takes penalties. And if you are telling me you've got a choice of Ivan Toney or Harry Kane, I would definitely pick Ivan Toney.
No
I I
way.
think I think Harry Kane is a really good penalty taker. I just got a theory that Harry Kane doesn't do it in the big moments. Like he didn't do it. He blazed that penalty in front in the World Cup against
Yeah, he
France.
did.
He's
He
never
did.
turned up for Tottenham in the semi-finals of competitions, the final of the Champions League. I have still got my doubts whether Harry Kane is a big game player. Obviously,
Yeah.
his stats speak for themselves, but they're stat padding. You look at the goals he scored against for England, the goals he scores for England. Read the list of teams that they were against. Just all teams that fodders really. So yeah, I like it. He was on my thinking as well. I have to say, I did think heavily about Harry Kane because he is a top penalty taker. But if we're talking about this is the fantasy, this is the biggest game ever known to man, I don't think he's scoring. So there we go. Ivan Toney rolls it in. Keeper's gone the wrong way. I take a 4-3 lead because Harry Kane's blazed it over. Who are you putting in for number 5 to keep you in this, Rob?
Um, I'm gonna put in Ronald Koeman.
Oh, I knew you'd go Dutch for the last one.
Yeah, should have. Like I'm definitely like when I'm rethinking it, I would like Koeman as well. I think he did it in the Champions League final. Johan Neeskens did it in the final. Messi did it in the World Cup final. Maybe I should have gone Mbappé. He scored twice in the final. That's unbelievable. But yeah, Koeman famous for also blasting the ball into the net. And yeah, very consistent. So Ronald Koeman, my last one. Who's your last?
I wouldn't put my house on Mbappe.
I
I
would, man.
wouldn't.
If you score
Would you?
twice in a
I
World Cup
know, I
final,
know, I know, I know. There is a person that I would put my house on in this situation if you've got to be completely clutch, big game player. Cristiano Ronaldo.
no, yeah, he does score a lot. Yeah, he does score a lot of goals.
Cristiano Ronaldo, man. Like he's my clutch. He's the clutch. Like if I have to like score a goal, a free kick, a penalty in the biggest game of your life, he's the guy I'm looking at.
Free kick, definitely not. I think he misses loads and loads of them. But
Yeah,
penalty,
maybe Messi more so for a free kick, but you know what I mean. I just think this guy's clutch. Like
I think when I think about it, Mbappé is clutch in my eyes. If you scored that many in that most important games as well. And Cristiano didn't score in a World Cup final a penalty. Mbappé did it twice. So yeah, Mbappé is in my eyes, to be honest, the most
it
clutch.
sounds like you've talked yourself out of Koeman. Mbappe has smashed it in clutch. Cristiano's missed. It finishes a draw, and we go to the pub to celebrate.
Okay, let's go for the Akas to celebrate.
Excellent. Let's go on to the Accas. Big Gun Acca. Like I say, Atalanta let us down last week from a good one. Let's see if we can miss any of those bullets. Who have you got for us this week in the Big Gun Acca?
Um, this time I've got a 8-fold and it's worth 3.46 and it's made up from Excelsior Rotterdam, PSV, Barcelona, Inter, Atalanta, Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, and Galatasaray. So it's a 8-fold, 3.46 are the odds. They're all massive favorites. A little bit scared of Atalanta, but with faith in Monaco.
I was going to say, Rob, you're going back for Atalanta after last week.
Yeah, even they're playing Monza. It's a
I
favorite,
know, I know.
favorite
I
team
looked,
in Italy.
I looked at it.
So you can't be scared. Let's go back in it. And yeah, that's my 8-4. What's the student Eka?
I've got Man City, as I spoke earlier. I've got Dortmund, and then Real Madrid. So I've got Man City, Dortmund, and Real Madrid. Then I've got 3 Italian teams: Napoli, and my 2 Italian picks from this week's pod: Lazio and AC Milan. That was just to try and get the odds up, really, because the others were quite low, short today. So I had to try and boost the odds. And the only way I can boost the odds is by finding value picks. And, I had two value picks this week that I liked. I could trade maybe one for Villa, but I'm going to keep it. Like Italy has done us quite well lately, so I'm going to keep them for all the reasons that I chose for the actual picks themselves. So yeah, just to reiterate that, it's Man City, Real Madrid, Dortmund, and then the Italian Napoli, Lazio, and AC Milan. That's 12.88 for a sixfold.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, then let's finish the pod with, as always, Rob, with our bet of the week. What do you like the most this week? What's the standout bet for you?
Oh, the standout bet for me, I have to think about it again. I always forget to think about what's my bet of the week because I like actually all my bets. Um, I'm gonna go as a single pick for the over 3.5 goals in the Monchengladbach game against Hoffenheim. I do like
Okay.
that price, and it's just a good price. That's why I like to play it.
Okay, so we've gone for goals as bet of the week for Rob. I'm going for Lazio. Lazio away at Empoli. All the reasons I spoke before. So that's my bet of the week. Okay, Rob, that brings us to the end of the pod. Just before I do, I'm going to do the roundup as always. So we didn't have anything initially in the Premier League, but in the end we went for Aston Villa at home at 1.73. Rob also liked goals here over 2.5 at pretty much the same odds, 1.74. So Villa win or goals, whichever you prefer, or go mad and do both. Have a lean on West Ham at 2.15. Spurs are thinking about Europa League glory. We've got a lean on Aberdeen. I think we always have a lean on Aberdeen. In Holland, FC Groningen at home to RKC 1.75. We both picked that in the end, so we both like that. There's a lean in Spain, and this is just a gut feeling for myself. Las Palmas at home to Valencia. Valencia just done enough now. Is that their massive league impressive run come to an end? And Las Palmas are still fighting relegation. That's a lean at 2.63. In Italy, we have three picks. My bet of the week, Lazio away at Empoli. We have Rob's pick, Roma at home to Fiorentina, 1.70, and AC Milan Monday night, 1.80 away at Genoa. In Germany brings Rob's bet of the week, goals over 3.5 at 2.2. And we have a lean, fading PSG. Are you mad? Strasbourg, the informed team in France, 2.45 at home, chasing Champions League positions. PSG thinking about Arsenal. That brings us to the end of the pod, Rob. That's the roundup. Where can people find us?
Okay, people can find us across all social media platforms. We are mainly on X, but we are also on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. And if you want to listen to more of our podcast or see it, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and across all the other bigger podcast platforms out there. Just put in the betting connection and you find the white clover. And we hope you subscribe and like and comment. We definitely appreciate it, and we always come back to you. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, Rob, thanks for that. And yeah, look, have a great weekend, everyone. Let us know what you're betting on. Let us know what you like, what you don't like from our picks today. Have a great weekend. And this time next week, we'll be talking to you. We'll know who makes up the Champions League final. Oh, my days. Have a great one. Ciao for now.
Happy betting.